Seahawks are world champs.
Tonight, Rain City's drought is over. Almost 4 years after Seattle began its Super Bowl dream, the Seahawks are now NFL champs.
And just a short time ago, the team was presented with the Lombardi Trophy after a blowout over the Denver Broncos.
Oh, good evening. The Seahawks dominated this game from the opening kick.
Yes, they did. They even won the coin flip, and it was clear all night the Hawks were the better team. Matt Lorch joins us now with some incredible highlights, Matt.
Wow, what a performance. We had the better team. We are Super Bowl champs, folks. And if you look at this roster, there is no reason they can't compete for a Super Bowl again next year. All right, football's biggest game in America's biggest city, New York, New Jersey, hosting for the first time Russell Wilson against the 5-time MVP Peyton Manning. Hawks win the coin flip, defer. First play of the game for Denver. The ball goes over Manning's head into the end zone. Seahawks recover. That is the safety, folks. 2-0 Seattle. Second play of the game for the Hawks. Percy Harvin, an immediate impact on the end around. That is speed, folks. 30 yards on the play, sets up a field goal. 5-0 Seahawks. The Hawks D setting the tone early. Cam Chancellor, a big hit on Demaryius Thomas. It was like this the entire game. Later in the first, 3rd and 5, Wilson with a floater to an open Doug Baldwin, a gain of 37 yards, sets up another field goal. Seahawks up 8-0. Later, pressure on Manning. Cam Chancellor again, this time with the pick. Seahawks sitting pretty in Broncos territory. Time for beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, a 1-yard TD run in the second quarter. The 12th man, folks, representing well in New Jersey. Seahawks dominating 15-0 Hawks. More defense. Denver going for it on 4th from their 19-yard line, but Manning's pass tipped by Chris Clemens. Seahawks almost pick it. Then here, 22-0 is your score at half on that interception in return. Late in the second, the Broncos were driving. More pressure on Peyton. That's when Malcolm Smith came up with the interception you just saw. Seahawks running away with the lead, 22-0. And can you believe it? This is what happened in the second. Percy Harvin, many questioned whether he was worth trading a first-round pick for. This is why you go after a guy of this caliber. Returns it, goes the distance. Seahawks rolling in this one, up 29-0. Another turnover for the Seahawks. Right there, Maxwell punches it out. Malcolm Smith, guy wasn't even starting at the beginning of the season, ends up with the interception. The Seahawks continue to pour it on offense. The former UW receiver, Jermaine Kearse, he gets into the end zone, making it 36-8. Then to just pour it on a little more, Doug Baldwin makes a few moves, gets in. Seahawks are your Super Bowl champions. They win this one going away, and Pete Carroll gets his first Super Bowl shower. Here's Russell Wilson. All right, Russell Wilson speaking to the media. We're just waiting for him to step up and answer some questions. Sounds like we have some audio issues. But, man, he was something else tonight, poised throughout the game, did not have an interception, and it just goes to show you what we've come to expect from the 25-year-old QB who has been nothing but perfection ever since he came to the Seahawks. We are so lucky to have him. So much was made going into this game. The #1 offense, Peyton Manning leading the way against the #1 defense. We've seen it before. Defenses win championships. They dominated this game, and now the question is this one of the best defenses of all time?
Yeah, it's the start of a three-peat, we hope, at least for the next 3 years, maybe longer, because he's so young.
And they're built for the future. They have most of their best talent locked down. They continue to add key pieces. There will be questions in the offseason. There always are. I believe Golden Tate will be a free agent. But you've given up a lot for Percy Harvin. We saw the kind of speed that he can provide on the field and what he can do and what a game breaker he is. It was so exciting to see him on that second play. Yeah. And that kickoff return, that just punched the Broncos in the gut and said, you know what, this game is over, and at that point it was.
I'm hearing your voice, and I know that Matt's been in New York all week long with the fans, and I'm wondering how many other fans tonight are just without a voice because of all the screaming this week and the enthusiasm. We know that the shouts are going on around Seattle. What is it like in New York tonight? You just got back earlier today.
Oh, I mean, the 12th man travels, and they were there in force earlier in the week. I think it was 4-1 Seahawks fans, and I think we're seeing that because, one, we believe in this team, but two, this town is starving and has been starving starved for a champion. The last time we saw it in a major men's professional sport was back in '79-80 with the Sonics winning a championship. That was the only one. And so everybody's been waiting for a celebration like this. We're going to be having a parade, a Super Bowl parade through the streets of Seattle this week. Also, this team sucked you in. The personalities are fantastic. Russell Wilson is a guy who's out there doing charity work. He's a guy you can believe in, super talented, says all the right things. They have so much personality with Sherman, with Marshawn Lynch. And so you rally behind a team like this, and they sucked us in, and for good reason. And now we have a Super Bowl champion. Congratulations to all their fans in the 12th man.
A definite big win tonight. And everybody wants to hear from the fans. You guys have been watching all day long. The 12th man out there traveling to New York, here in Seattle, supporting the team. And the celebrations have started. Want to give you a look at some of the fans tonight celebrating this big Super Bowl win. The Seahawks dominating the Broncos in Super Bowl XLVIII. Play after play, fans packed into the Armory at Seattle Center. Couldn't believe their eyes. They spent more time jumping out of their seats than they did sitting in them. I don't know about you, but we were the same way.
Look at these loyal fans packing the Hawks nest. This is near CenturyLink Field. Since early this morning, a lot of them are starting to lose their voices tonight, but well worth it as the celebration just continues around the city. And over the next several hours, we're going to have it covered all over the city and in New Jersey as we celebrate right there with you. And just a fantastic night for Seahawks, for the city of Seattle. And the parade is going to be on Wednesday. They've already scheduled it. We got a notice about 10 minutes ago. It's going to start in the morning around 11 a.m. It's going to go right there on 4th Avenue, south of Denny, and they go all the way to CenturyLink Field for about 11 to 1:30. And the team will be here. You're not going to be able to see the team when they come back like fans did when they left to go to the stadium and go to the plane. You're not going to be able to do that when they come back, but you'll get to celebrate with them on Wednesday.
Absolutely. So mark your calendars for the parade on Wednesday. We have a lot of coverage ahead. Stay right there. Q13 Fox, your home of the Seahawks, and a big win tonight for the local team.
Now 3rd down and 7. They're coming after Manning. Pass is too high and picked by Chancellor. Intercepted by Cam Chancellor. With Julius Thomas the intended target.
At Q13.
You are looking at our quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks tonight, hugging his teammates right as the game was about to finish tonight. A big night, of course, for Russell Wilson and the entire Seahawks team. This is a guy that you could root for all season long. We've seen what he does off the field. We certainly have seen throughout the season what he has done on the field. He's a great leader. He's a super guy to root for, and the 12th man has gotten behind Russell Wilson and the entire team for the last couple of months. So it's a big congratulations to him and all his teammates tonight.
I don't know about you guys. I knew they'd win. I didn't think they'd win in such a large fashion. I mean, they made Denver look like they were standing still.
You know, I think how they came out of the gate. I mean, immediately, Peyton Manning has the snap goes over his head. You're on the board. You've scored 3 points. Yeah. Denver did not get a first down until the second quarter. And that says something about this defense. We knew they were good. Nobody expected them to be this good. And now people will compare them to the best defenses of all time. The '85 Bears. We all remember Mike Singletary and the Refrigerator Perry and that team. Now that's how people are going to be talking about this team. And it really all starts in the secondary. It's those big, long corners. Man, Cam Chancellor was incredible tonight.
He's the enforcer, isn't he, man? You know, he puts some hits on people.
He hits harder than anybody else in the league. So the defense sets the tone for this team, and it really makes it for Russell Wilson that he doesn't have to go out and overperform and feel like he has to carry the team on his back. And when you have a defense like that, you know, the Broncos had not faced a defense as talented as the Seahawks all year. And we saw the Denver Broncos come in here in the preseason. Granted, it's the preseason, we know. Yeah. But we just lit them up. It happened again tonight. I mean, this was almost a carbon copy. And what can you say about Malcolm Smith? If we can roll those highlights that we rolled earlier, let's roll them again, because Malcolm Smith didn't even start at the beginning of the season. That is your Super Bowl MVP. He's live right now, your Super Bowl MVP, Malcolm Smith.
Right. We just have a great group of guys that feed off each other well, guys that have the same kind of attitude and approach towards the game, a bunch of guys with chips on their shoulder and guys that have been overlooked. And it's just, for us to be here, come this far, the way our fans support us, it's great. it just represents our defense well. I'm just here to represent the defense, honestly. I played a role tonight where I had a couple opportunities, and you've seen guys all year make those kind of plays, and tonight was my turn, and I'm here, but it's definitely on behalf of them. It's great, man. It's great for our family. You know, I don't think we ever imagined being a pair of Super Bowl winning brothers, but for us to be here and him to be over there watching this is excellent. No, we feel like we play with a level of intensity that other teams have to match, and we like this matchup. We felt good coming to this game, and we felt like they would have to deal with us. I can't explain it, or I don't know. Being picked that late, it kind of just humbles you, keeps you hungry, and our team is just like that, man. It helped me. For us to be at this point, it helped me.
Can you explain the interception phenomenal you got here?
Yeah, I was saying Peyton was kind of scanning the other side of the field, and there was great coverage on the back end, great pressure. He said Cliff got to the quarterback, and Peyton's arm kind of just came out high, and I was able to run under and catch it, and they got a couple good blocks, and I was able to get in.
I don't see Sid down there.
Terrence Knighton, podium 4.
Thank you. Thank you.
When the game started, that first quarter, it seemed very disappointing.
I don't know that. I don't know that had anything to do with anything. They just had a bad snap, you know. But I thought we played real well, start to finish. We did everything we wanted to do, and they really didn't have many opportunities to get the momentum out of this, you know, from the start of the football game. Unfortunate for them that they it was unfortunate for them that, you know, they had, you know, the screwy snap and all that. But that's 2 points. That doesn't decide a football game. Yeah, I don't think it was disjointed from our point of view. I don't know why you would say that. For us, it was just exactly the way we wanted it. I don't think it helped us. I think we just played football, and the things that were supposed to happen happened. We played really good on D. We did a nice job on offense. We took the ball off them, and they didn't get it from us once. You know, it's just exactly the formula that we try to win with, and it worked out. All those people that like to say defense wins championships can go ahead and gloat for a little while, because that sure turned out today. We're very fortunate. Yeah, you know, what's pretty cool about it is Malcolm's 7th-round pick. Doug Baldwin scores, free agent. Jermaine Kerr scores, free agent. I think that's something to say about John Schneider and the work that he's done to bring our talent together. You know, we have guys all over the roster that played really well that are not high draft picks, but guys that really performed at a really high level, and that's because the vision that John could see when he put it together came through, and these guys believed in getting it done and worked really hard to get here. What's the key to stopping Gameday? We tried to do a little bit of everything, but mostly we played football the way we know how to play. We played our style of ball. We didn't change anything for this game. We didn't make up any new calls. We didn't change any defenses or pressures or anything. We put our guys in situations to play like they really were comfortable with, and learned how they were playing, and we got great play out of everybody. We got pressure up front. They couldn't run the football. We made plays on the ball. We turned the thing over like we like. So, you know, it really wasn't about those guys. It was our guys. We just played the way we always play, and believed that would get it done, and fortunately it did. Yeah, you know, I don't know how many plays. He was involved in the one with the forced interception, I think. And then I don't know, did he force the fumble or did Clem force the fumble? I don't even know. So I don't even know. But Cliff has played great all year. He's a fantastic talent. He's really fit in. He's brought a great energy for us and really given us a great boost. He and Michael Bennett were really the big guys in the pass rush. You know, improvement from last year to this year.
You are listening to Coach Pete Carroll, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks tonight, relishing in his big victory, and of course talking to a slew of reporters who have a lot of questions, and he's not going to get a moment to think about the game. They're already asking about the roster. They're asking about next year, but certainly a big congratulations goes out to Pete Carroll tonight and this win.
I'll tell you what, another congratulations to Aaron Levine. Boy, he's been covering this all week long in New York, and he capped it off tonight with the victory, and there he is right on the field, and look at the blue and green confetti behind you. This is fantastic, Aaron.
Oh, it really is, guys. I mean, talk about relishing this opportunity. Not just Pete Carroll, but all the players and all the members of the 12th man. As the confetti was flying, let's pan back because there is a huge contingent of 12th man fans here in Seattle. Guys, this is for the city of Seattle. The city deserves it. Their first Super Bowl title in a 38-year history. The wait is finally over. The Lombardi Trophy finally theirs. The celebration, just incredible today. And the Seahawks did it in such a dominant fashion. They scored a couple of offensive touchdowns. They scored a defensive touchdown. They scored a safety, and they scored a touchdown on special teams. Percy Harvin's 87-yard kick return. And Malcolm Smith, what can you say? The Super Bowl MVP just a few days ago. Tuesday, Super Bowl Media Day. Malcolm Smith was not given a podium. He was standing all by himself on the field. I walked up to him. I said, Malcolm, you made the game-clinching interception against the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, and they're not giving you a podium. 2 days later, Marshawn Lynch, all the media around him. Malcolm Smith was sitting by himself in the corner on Media Day. I went up to him. I said, what is this like? He said, you know what? I'm going to try and prove something on Sunday. And guess what? The 7th-round pick out of USC certainly did that. Just an incredible night. Go celebrate. I mean, pop the champagne. This is so exciting for everybody in the city of Seattle. We're going to be joined by Max Strong and Dave Wyman in just a few minutes and have reaction from not only Coach Carroll, but the players live here from MetLife Stadium. Guys.
Hey, Aaron, so all the Seahawks fans are behind you. We saw the coach and some of the players inside doing press. What are they doing there, all the fans behind you? What are they waiting for there on the field?
Well, we have a couple other broadcasts going on, so some of the players are being interviewed by those various broadcasts, but they're just around here celebrating. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in Times Square because it has been one big Seahawks party all week long in the center of Manhattan. There's going to be a party there later tonight, and I can only imagine what it's like back in the Pacific Northwest because this is just, it gives you chills, it gives you goosebumps. We waited 38 years, close to 4 decades worth, and Dave, hey Dave, come on in here right now. We're on the air right now, and I just got to get your thoughts because I know you played for both teams, but the fact that the Seahawks finally broke through and won Lombardi Trophy tonight.
Unbelievable. I mean, they were just so physical, and that's kind of what we were talking about going into the game. We thought, just not seeing the physicality out of Denver that you're seeing out of Seattle, and I think everybody in Seattle kind of knew that would happen, but you weren't sure because it's such a good offense in Denver, and they did in this game what they've done all year. They make other teams look ordinary, no matter how good they are. It's unbelievable. And so just the physicality, I love that it came down to sort of whoever hits the hardest wins the game, you know? So unbelievable. And then, you know, the Super Bowl MVP is Malcolm Smith, a guy who's a 7th rounder, a guy who didn't start at the beginning of the year. And it's incredible what they've been able to get done with these pieces.
Let's bring Max Strong in. Mac, you want to come in also because, Mac, the last time the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl, I know it wasn't an easy time for you. We're not talking about it because we got one. We got one. How you feeling?
I feel like a world champion. How about you? And that's the way all the fans back home in Seattle and around the Northwest need to feel. This team came out here focused tonight. They came out here with the right attitude, the right mindset, and they took it to arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the history of this game. And they did it with a dominating fashion. So it was a great game to watch for if you're a Seahawks fan. Not so much if you're a Denver Bronco fan. I tell you what, these guys came out here and played the way they played all year long, and they dominated this football game.
We were smiling from start to finish, and we're smiling even bigger now. We'll toss it back to you for now, but we'll be coming back with interviews from the Seahawks players. Seahawks Super Bowl champions, guys.
All right, Aaron, and another big player in today's game, a huge factor this game. We've waited for him to play all season. Percy Harvin, listen in.
It's a quick way to get to the edge. We knew we would catch the defense off guard. The defense end, we knew he couldn't get his hand up quick enough for me to get around the edge. So it's just another wrinkle we can put in the run game. Oh, it's tremendously fun, though. I think that was one of my favorite plays back at Florida. So I don't know if Coach looked at that, and that's why he put it in. But that was one of my favorite plays, and like I said, it worked out for us today.
Percy, you were saying all week how hungry this team was. How hungry this team was. Have you played?
Right now, we pretty much got the job done, so we're gonna let this soak in. But this team was tremendously hungry. This defense, you know, the hats off to Peyton Manning and all the accolades and records he bought. But our defense was just looking at that all for the last 2 weeks and just chomping at their bits to get on the field and showing what they had. So, you know, hats off to him, but our defense was ready.
Percy, the feeling you felt when God just told you, like, what was that feeling like once you put it on for this game?
It was all the relief, man. Just knowing I had one, getting a chance to strap up my pads one more time, You know, after being knocked out the previous week for a concussion, it's just all, this whole season, the way it all unfolded, man, was just surreal.
Teams be talking about every game.
You feeling pretty good tonight.
I thought he was going to be the MVP. I really did.
Could have been.
Yeah,
you can make the argument he deserved it after that kickoff return, and that just really sealed this game.
Certainly a weapon for the Hawks tonight. We have more live coverage. We've got you covered from New Jersey all the way here to Seattle. Fan reaction. Our reporters are standing by all over the area. We'll be right back. The Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl champions.
Seahawks Game Day Super Bowl Edition, sponsored locally by Regents.
Well, Russell Wilson, of course, a huge factor in today's game and all season long. He spoke just a short time ago. Take a listen.
At the beginning of the season, I told the guys, hey, why not us? We believed that we could get here. We had the talent, we had the coaching staff, we had the best fans in the National Football League, and we wanted to win it all. And we just said, hey, go 1-0. And that was our mentality throughout the whole thing. We continue to fight, we continue to grow together. We got great teammates, man, and I couldn't have done without the guys.
Didn't that echo something your dad once told you? Russell, why not you?
Yeah, he used to always tell me, Russ, why not you? And what that kind of meant is, believe in yourself, believe in the talent God's giving you, even though you're 5'11", you can go a long ways, and so that's why I decided to play football, and I wanted to go against the odds a little bit.
Team win all the way around. Just what you guys did, what you talked about coming into this game, what you wanted to establish early.
Well, our preparation was unbelievable, and it was a great team win. Special teams, Percy Harvin coming back, kickoff return, and the defense was relentless. Offensively, we were clicking on all cylinders, and so that's what we wanted to be, and especially the last game of the season, to finish that way in that fashion, that's our mindset. We want to be champions every day and bring it every time.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Go Hawks.
26 years old. He has so much poise. He's such a great leader on and off the field. And look what we just got into the studio. Super Bowl champion. Super Bowl 48. Bigger, faster, stronger,
look at that.
Louder.
Isn't that cool?
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the players and a lot of the 12th man are pinching themselves right now at this big win. Aaron Levine has been covering this team all season long for us, and he's back out at MetLife Stadium. Aaron, you got your guys by your side. More reaction out there from MetLife.
We're ready for the parade, and I know the parade's going to be on Wednesday at 11, but tonight it's time to celebrate, guys. How about the Pete Carroll mantra, it's all about the ball? The Seahawks now 28-4 under Pete Carroll. When they win the turnover battle, they forced 3 turnovers earlier tonight.
Yeah, and it really started off from the first play of the game. You think about that safety, it doesn't go down as a turnover, but boy, did that set the tone. They get 2 picks away from it and a fumble recovery. They played the way that they've been playing all year long. #1 team in turnovers this year. That's a great formula for winning football games.
If somebody would have told you a quarterback's going to fumble a snap for a safety, you'd have bet $1 million that it would be Russell Wilson in his first Super Bowl appearance. Unbelievable way to start off. And, in the 11, this is amazing what they did to this Denver offense. In the 11 possessions they had, except for the touchdown, it went safety, punt, interception, over on downs, punt, fumble, downs, fumble, end of game. Unbelievable. 308 yards, Denver's offense. The turnovers, everything. It didn't even look like a close game.
We always talk about how you have to beat the best to be the best. And Peyton Manning is one of the best of all time. He is a Hall of Fame quarterback, and they picked him off twice. As you mentioned, they made him look ordinary, and they also made him look very uncomfortable in the pocket.
Well, yeah, it was a great job, I think, not only by the secondary, but also by those guys up front. You saw a couple times Cliff Averill got a tip on the ball, Chris Clemens got a tip on the ball, sack fumble. So it was a great job by the defensive line. That front 7 of the Seattle Seahawks, they put pressure on Peyton Manning all day long, just made him feel super uncomfortable, and he just was able to throw the ball with any type of comfort or just felt good at all. So it just definitely made him uncomfortable being in that position.
Yeah, well, and they always say the best pass defense is a pass rush, and that's what you got out of Cliff Averill. And it kind of brought home, Michael Bennett had a pretty good game, Cliff Averill, Percy Harvin. So, the free agents all showed up big. I mean, they've maximized every free agent, every pick they make. Malcolm Smith, a 7th rounder, Richard Sherman, a 5th rounder. It's unbelievable what this young team has been able to do.
And we're sitting with a 22-0 lead at halftime, and yet you know Peyton Manning's on the other side of the ball. They have a shot, and what do? Opening kickoff of the second half. Percy Harvin, an 87-yard touchdown return on the kickoff. Talk about an X factor. He was an X factor today. The first full game he's played all season long, and he made a difference tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a guy that when he has the ball in his hand, he's very electric. And honestly, he could have been a Super Bowl MVP tonight. I mean, there was a lot of guys on his team that actually made plays well enough to be given that particular title as Super Bowl MVP. Think about Malcolm Smith. You think about, obviously, Russell Wilson had a great game. You think about Percy Harvin. All these guys came through in a big-time way. But let me tell you something. Percy Harvin is worth every dime. He's worth every penny. He only played in 3 games. But let me tell you what, when he got in the game, he did something with it.
He's going to be the highest dollar per play player ever, right? I mean, you know, we were talking at halftime about how this team needs to come out and just squash them in the second half. And after I finished doing the radio at halftime, I went down to get a sandwich, missed the whole thing. I mean, I thought there would be a brief, period of time where a play wouldn't be made, but unbelievable what he's done. And I don't think anybody's going to remember that he missed pretty much 95% of the entire season, as long as he did what he did tonight.
So what you're telling me is that you watched all of Bruno Mars at halftime and then went for the sandwich, right? And then missed the Harvin kick return?
I thought it'd be a touchback, Oh, man, unbelievably, the guy's electric, and you can see it on the field, Percy Harvin, that speed, and then also running that fly sweep. The other thing that really impressed me about that is how well they executed on that play. They can't have practiced it that much, but the timing on it, and then I think it was setting up other things. They ran a fake fly sweep and handed it to Marshawn Lynch. So they had all kinds of things going off of that whole Percy Harvin package.
Yeah, it was just a great job of everything that they did as far as like getting everybody involved in this game. 2 weeks to prepare for this. Obviously wanting to maximize Percy Harvin. Fly sweep, they also put him in the backfield and made him go out in the route and flood routes, things like that. Just anything they could do to take the attention off the other guys. Let me tell you something. You can't forget about Jermaine Kearse, too.
Oh, yeah.
He had a huge game today. I just think about all the catches and that one touchdown that he had where he just refused to go down. Great just team effort by everybody on the squad.
Jermaine Kearse, 4 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. Doug Baldwin, 5 catches, 66 yards and a touchdown. And he was getting hit around the 5-4-yard line, and he made it all the way into the end zone. It's just really cool to see the scrappy pedestrian receivers, as you like to call them, getting it done in the biggest game of all.
I wish he would have won the MVP, because then he could have gone to Chris Carter and said, do you have one of these? But he's going to be able to do that with his Super Bowl ring. Kearse, the one touchdown he scores, he gets hit by 2 guys and spins one way. He gets hit by 2 more guys and spins the other way. It was like he was, unwinding himself so he didn't get dizzy. Unbelievable from him. And then Baldwin just goes and has a big game.
I know our Ian Furness is catching up with the Seahawks players in a very exciting and boisterous locker room. We'll have more from Ian coming up from MetLife Stadium coming up after this, guys.
All right, Aaron, thanks very much. Appreciate you guys for all your analysis. Great stuff all week long. Let's take a live look at Pioneer Square tonight. The fans are celebrating. The police are out there telling you to have fun, have a great time, but they do have some of the streets blocked off to kind of contain people. People are going to have a wild night, and they deserve it. This has been a long time coming in Seattle tonight, and you can see there the fans are celebrating. We're not hearing of any major problems. We do know that they've got streets blocked off in Belltown. People are pretty wild in Capitol Hill as well. We had a couple of couches burned over by the University District, but so far the partying has been contained and appropriate. It could get a little wilder as the night goes on, but hopefully won't have any fights or any issues. There are a lot of police on the streets. They didn't have to work a game tonight like they've had to do on the NFC game, so you've got plenty of officers out there just in case, but primarily their job right now is just to keep an eye on things and to let people enjoy this.
Yeah, let the 12th man celebrate. This is Seattle's biggest win since the Sonics title in 1979.
Wow, this city is celebrating like a city that's been starved for this kind of sports glory. John Upperstead live in the middle of the Hawks' Nest near CenturyLink Field, where the fans have gone wild tonight. John?
Yeah, guys, we're really here. This is where it's really happening here in Pioneer Square. You can see people coming out of the Hawks' Nest. That was back for the game. Now it is packed here on the streets. But as you say, we've been waiting since 1979 to win another major championship with this team. And the Seahawks fans have been waiting 8 long years. They got a lot of celebrating in Seattle tonight. Lindsay and told me that the 12th made it to New York on a great game. They're missing out on a great party here. As you can see, it's feet started. You can barely hear most of the talk, but here come the Skittles. We got the Skittles as well. As you said, some of the traffic is backed up down here on First Avenue, but police are handling it. It's mainly high fives and hugs here so far. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
That's a live report that said a lot with very few words.
We understand what's going on. We're going to have much more from all of our reporters out in the field as the 12th man celebrates. Back to New Jersey after the break as well. You stay right here. Q13 Fox, your home of the Seahawks.
What is focus? It's a wondrous...
Well, you are looking at Pioneer Square, and Seahawks fans are spilling out into the streets, certainly celebrating tonight's win. They've got some sort of blue-green smoke that they're tossing up into the atmosphere, along with just a lot of excited people out there throwing whatever they can. Police are out in the streets in Pioneer Square. They're all across Seattle. They have anticipated people coming out to celebrate and have a good time, of course, tonight. So far, we've heard of very few problems. Couch set on fire in the U District. Other than that, you got a lot of happy 12th man fans out there supporting the team. They have been excited about this, and we're going to see this continue throughout the night. We have crews there in Pioneer Square and all around Seattle covering the action for you as you celebrate at home tonight as well on this big Super Bowl win.
Yeah, that smoke that they're popping, you see sometimes the Sounders fans use that too, or they'll just kind of pop it out there, you know, because it's fun. It's not hazardous. It's not going to hurt you in any kind of way, but it is certainly a great time. And you just see the blue and the green everywhere, and everybody's just kind of milling around. I'm sure there's some of the louder crowd members leading the cheer there in the middle, and there's a couple of 12th man fans up on the light pole tonight. And they're just literally climbing the trees. They're so wild out there.
Yeah, I think people are pretty excited. I've never seen Pioneer Square so crowded and packed with people. And one thing we've said all week long, really after the NFC Championship game, was how happy everybody is in the city of Seattle. Everybody got behind this team. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing a 12th man flag hanging or somebody with a Seahawks jersey on. I mean, people were just super excited, and tonight is finally the let loose time. So you can get out, you can celebrate your team, you're relieved that it's all over, bring home the win, and certainly the 12th man fans out in Pioneer Square tonight. I mean, look at that, wall-to-wall people.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get up there and raise their 12th man flag. Here's a similar shot in Capitol Hill tonight, where we also know that there are just a lot of fans spilled out on the street. Now, a lot of people went down to Pioneer Square earlier because CenturyLink Field is down there. Capitol Hill, you just have a lot of young people, a lot of diverse people that are there, and they just want to come out, as they always do, right around there at 12th and Pike, and celebrate anytime there's something big in the city going on. And so we know there's a lot of people flooded in that area as well. The other big area is down in Belltown, where we've got a lot of people there too. And there's a lot of law enforcement there too, kind of blocking the streets off so that traffic can't get in there and run over any pedestrians.
Absolutely. And we should mention the parade is going to be on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So block off your schedule if you need to call into work. I bet a lot of kids are going to miss school. Not often that you get a Super Bowl championship parade coming through downtown Seattle. Let's toss it back out to New Jersey and MetLife Stadium, where Aaron Levine is standing by. Fans are still in the stadium. There's a lot of action happening down on the field as well. They haven't started cleaning up the confetti yet. Aaron Levine is there with full coverage, and he's got his sports team alongside him. Aaron.
Yeah, this is where it ended, guys. This is where it all began and ended. The Seahawks hopefully starting a legacy here at MetLife Stadium as they win their first Super Bowl championship. And you talk about the celebration and the confetti. Well, your very own Dave Wyman just did a little snow angel in the middle of confetti. That's what we all want to do out here. Speaking of celebration, our Ian Furness caught up with both Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett. Let's take a look.
There was no bigger factor in this football game than the guys up front. This guy's been telling us about it all year. We might get a jersey for you.
Hey, only I can get a jersey if I get a multi-year deal, I heard. So I'm trying to get a multi-year deal, so I'm lobbying for it now.
Hey, they paid this guy last year.
They paid me a little bit. We're trying to get paid again.
Cliff Averill, before we go back to Michael, you got a hold of Peyton Manning a couple times. You knocked him off the spot, a couple huge plays. Your secondary did the rest.
Yeah, no, I mean, we feel like we work together, you know. If the secondary is holding their guys, you know, giving us a little time, we're going to get after the quarterback, and we did that today.
Michael, this guy made a couple monster plays. You made a couple monster plays. You got pressure on him. Did you see something going in this game? Because I heard little rumors that you guys felt like you could get to him a little bit.
We felt like we could get to any quarterback. I mean, it's a shame that the whole NFL and the so-called analysts counted us out. But all we've been doing, man, is just coming up, lining up, and playing our best football. I mean, we got guys like Cliff, Tony McDaniel, Clint, man, guys that's underrated, and they just come out and play the best every week.
You both came here as free agents. I'm assuming you came here thinking that this team was close to this. Is that right, Cliff?
Most definitely. I mean, everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to get the Super Bowl. You know, I signed thinking that we had a chance to do it. You know, the defense was already pretty good. It's just you know, finding your spot on the defense and making it happen.
What does it mean to you?
It means everything. I can't wait to go to Hawaii tomorrow.
What does it mean to you?
Same thing. We're all going to Hawaii, baby.
You can't go yet. We got a parade in Seattle.
Oh, after the parade, we're going to Hawaii. Take the kids and the wives. I mean, without our wives, look, these are our wives right here.
Where are the wives at?
Right here, man.
There she is. Hey, look at that.
Without these two, man, we wouldn't be here. They hold it down for us, and they do everything for us. So, you know, they make it easy for us to play out. And without my wife, I know without his wife, it wouldn't be special the way it is.
What do you guys want to say to the 12th man back in Seattle?
Go Seahawks.
Go Seahawks.
We'll see you at the parade.
All right, see you later, man.
And we'll get him a jersey next year, Aaron. 72 will be hanging in there along with 56. Back to you.
Yeah, let's bring Michael Bennett back for another year, and we will get him the jersey. Thanks a lot, Ian. How about, guys, I mean, Cliff Averill. He went 0-16 in his rookie season in Detroit, and all of a sudden he is a Super Bowl champion with the Seattle Seahawks.
Can you believe that? I mean, these two guys, with winning the Super Bowl, they have to go down as the two greatest free agent acquisitions ever in the Seahawks history. What they brought to the table this year, remember the three of us sitting on the set a little over a year ago after that loss against the Atlanta Falcons in that divisional playoff round? We said, look, they got to find a way to get somebody to get after the quarterback, to put pressure on them, to get sacks, to be able to accumulate that on their own. And they didn't just get one, they got two. They got Michael Bennett and Cliff Averill. So congratulations to those guys, and they're a big reason why these guys were able to win the Super Bowl today.
Yeah, and they also scored touchdowns and all kinds. I mean, Cliff Averill's unbelievable, the strip sack thing that he does. And, you know, Pete Carroll and John Schneider, more importantly than us three sitting around talking about it, they also said, hey, we got to go get a pass rusher or two, and they did. And those two guys came up big for them. And it wasn't just about sacks, too. It was also about disruption. And that's what Michael Bennett, when I think of him, I think of just total disruption, the way he's able to rush up inside, outside, and then Cliff Averill, he just got better and better, and especially in the playoffs. And that's what you want. You want your best players to rise to the occasion in the big games. And you look at the last two games, I think are Cliff Averill's two best games of the year.
Averill, Bennett, Harvin, all huge free agent acquisitions. But let's talk about our second-year quarterback, Russell Wilson, becoming the third youngest quarterback to win a Super Bowl, starting quarterback, that is. That is just an incredible feat. He was in New Orleans last year preparing for a future Super Bowl, which just happened to be the very next season.
Can you believe it? This young man, he's incredible. 18 of 25 for 206 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not gaudy numbers, just the numbers that he's had all year long. That's the way this team has been winning. Hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, play great defense, let the quarterback, don't turn the ball over. Put the ball in your playmakers' hands, let them make plays for you. Russell Wilson just did a phenomenal job. He's only in his second year, and the sky's still a limit. This guy's, his ceiling still hasn't been reached yet, and he's got a lot of growing to do, and I'm just so grateful, just as a Seahawks fan, we get to grow with him.
Yeah, I hope Russell takes some time off, some more time off than he did last year.
You think so?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, but it seemed like one of those perfect games for him. He's 18 for 25. He doesn't need to throw for a ton of yards in this offense. So I thought that was huge. Watch out. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, no. We let Pete go wherever he wants to go.
Coach Carroll coming up behind us right now. He's being interviewed by CNN. Hopefully we'll catch up with him soon. But
almost took out a camera.
Well,
he's getting me back.
Well, speaking of Coach Carroll, I mean, Pete Carroll becomes just the third coach of all time to win not only a National Football Championship, but a Super Bowl championship as well.
I mean, that's just remarkable. You think about what this man has done at both levels, both the collegiate level and the professional level, and he's done it by getting players that really buy into his philosophy and his system. It's all about the ball. That's the first thing he talked about when he came into the VMAC 4 years ago. He said, look, if we protect the ball, and I get a bunch of guys on this team that are all in to give everything they have every single game, then we can create and get a championship in Seattle.
Carroll's been unbelievable. You know, the other thing, too, is the preparation. I was at the team hotel as Mac was this morning, and you saw lots of people. I saw Pete playing with some kids. I don't know if it was grandkids or what, but, you know, he was loose. All the players were loose. All the other people on, you know, the doctors and the trainers were all uptight. I was uptight, but, man, they were loose and ready to go. So I think that's the key, is trying to tone it down for those guys and just go out and play a normal football game, and that's what they did.
I'm being told that Ian Furness is about to talk to Percy Harvin. We're going to get to that in a second, but we also hear that it's going crazy crazy back in Seattle as the celebration continues. From here in our perspective, make sure that everybody celebrates, but celebrates responsibly back in the Pacific Northwest, guys.
Yeah, and you can really hear the horns all over the street. The people are celebrating. This is Capitol Hill. You're looking at a live picture. You see the blue and the green balloons, and this is just one of the parties going on in the city. You can imagine that on the Snoqualmie Plateau, at homes all over there, at the house parties, in Bellingham, down in Olympia, and over in the Kitsap County, all over this area that they are partying tonight. All the Super Bowl celebrations continue. Here's Pioneer Square, where they're just packed in there, Marty. You got smoke throwing up in the air, blue and green smoke canisters being popped, and the people are just having a good time. They're raising the 12th man flag, and they are entitled to just go wild.
Celebration, the word of the night. More live coverage right after the break. Stay right there. Taking you back out live to the celebrations in the heart of downtown Seattle. This again is Pioneer Square, and look at the 12th man tonight. Out in the streets, police are standing by to make sure everybody stays under control, but certainly a happy and exuberant celebration with all of the 12th man fans heading out, spilling out really into the streets of Seattle and all across the area. This is just one big party that's happening, and of course the next big party, there's Capitol Hill, and you've got lots of people holding up their 12th man flags, making sure that they are out in the streets to show each other all of the support that they've given one another throughout the season. There is a parade scheduled for this Wednesday. The championship parade through the streets of Seattle starts at 11 o'clock, goes from 11 to 1:30, starts at 4th Avenue South and just right south of Denny Way, and it ends at CenturyLink Field. And you can bet all the 12s are going to be at that parade as well, as they're out in the streets tonight celebrating tonight's win.
Yeah, the one thing that officials caution us to remind you is that the players, when they come back, you're not going to be able to greet them in official capacity as the buses leave the plane and head back to the VMAC. They're not going to do that this time for security reasons. So they're asking everybody to make plans to come out on Wednesday for the big celebration. And as these people are probably chilly tonight, Walter, what's the temperature out there right there? And let's talk about the parade on Wednesday as we continue to look at this video.
Yeah,
Wednesday, we're talking about a daytime parade. A lot of kids are going to want to go. I know you're going to want to bring your boys, as other families are. So is it going to be as cold as it is out here tonight?
It's going to actually be colder. We've got some very cold air coming in this week. Temperatures are only going to be about 28 or 29 degrees for that party on Wednesday, but it'll be sunny though.
Yeah, everybody be packed in, though, on the streets. You know, they have their big coats on, their big jackets. So, and everybody will feel warm, as they always do in a good celebration like this. You see the people climbing up on the trees. Police are not going to move into the area. They're telling us they're going to let the celebrations go on for quite some time until they start to see them get out of control. And it seems as though people are just kind of celebrating with each other. It doesn't really, there's probably somebody sort of leading the Seahawks cheer in there. And you can see them kind of waving their flags at each other sort of back and forth. And so everybody's just out there screaming, having a good time, using their cell phone cameras. And
you got to let it. You got to let it all sink in. We have our reporters out there gathering, so we'll have some sound from some of the fans here in just a short while. But of course, the party continues in New Jersey as well, where the team and their families and so many of the 12th man fans traveled. I was just looking on Twitter, and the Empire State Building is lit up blue and green tonight. Yeah. The championship T-shirts and sweatshirts are hot off the press. They're printing more right now, so those will be in stores shortly. You have a lot to look forward to in the next couple of days as this team arrives back home tomorrow and the celebrations continue. I would imagine we've got a couple of weeks of celebrations as we hear more about the game. We hear more about the 12th man that traveled. So much momentum going into this game, and you just feel for all these people out there tonight relishing in the moment, throwing up the 12th man flag. That's one of the most unbelievable things that I have seen over the last couple of weeks, is just the support from this fan base. And you heard the players in New York in all of their national interviews this week saying the exact same thing. The 12th man in Seattle has been behind this team from the get-go. And so this isn't just a win for the team. This is a win for the city. And the city has been there through thick and thin. And what an awesome season and a way to end it tonight. It brings a smile to your face to watch all these guys out there celebrating. And you think of the kids. Walter and I were talking earlier, to be a kid in the city of Seattle and witnessing all of that. Russell Wilson, everybody loves Russell Wilson. But to be able to witness this historic night in this city is truly really unbelievable.
Well, the team members tell you that it's not about them being a team, it's about them being family. And if you look at how they've bonded the people in Seattle together over this last season, I mean, you have lifelong Seattle Seahawks fans, and then you got people that are just kind of fair weather fans, but this entire city has come together. So if you drive out to Ballard or Tacoma or anywhere you go, you see that 12th man in businesses and windows and in shops all over the place. As the people that really just come together to celebrate this, and it's really it is a bonding moment for everybody in the city, and to be able to just soak in this worldwide championship and realize that we're not way up here stuck in the Pacific Northwest. The attention of the entire country is on us because they all wish they were having a celebration like the Seahawks and the city of Seattle are having tonight.
Absolutely. That was what was so cool, is watching national coverage from New York all of this week, and you saw the 12th man representing in New York, and it was kind of a wake up to the country. Like, look at these fans, these great, awesome fan base from out in Seattle traveling all this way. And clearly, from all of the live coverage that we've seen over the last week, the 12th man outnumbered all the Broncos fans. So you know that the team felt the support there in New Jersey as they went into tonight's game. So certainly really cool to see everybody spilling out into the streets tonight. Let's head back out to New Jersey now. We're going to keep monitoring this situation in Pioneer Square and Capitol Hill and all else. Aaron Levine is out on the field of MetLife Stadium with Dave Wyman and Max Strong. Guys, confetti still on the field, celebrations continuing.
Oh, yeah, the confetti is going to be on the field all night long. You mentioned the Empire State Building in blue and green. It's been blue and green all week long as well. And, you know, 12 is the magic number. 12 seconds into the game, the first safety, 12 seconds into the second half. That's how long it took for Percy Harvin to score that kickoff return on the touchdown. But speaking of 12, how about 11? Percy Harvin, he caught up with Ariane Furness.
Percy Harvin, you made a difference today. Was it worth the wait?
I would hope so. Man, it's just been a long ride, man, to finally be able to give 4 quarters to my team, give something back, finish the game, man. It meant the world to me. My teammates been there for me all year, coaching staff, so it was good to get this.
You went through more than anybody on this football team this year. How difficult was that? How satisfying is this?
Man, this is the ultimate goal. And like I told everybody all week, no matter what I went through, my goals were still in reach. You know, I didn't play all the games, but my goals were still in reach. Everybody's goals were still in reach, and we reached them.
There were a couple monster plays, the runs early, but let's talk about the kickoff return. You guys have the momentum. You're trying to get a score. The ball bounces. Take us through what happened next.
It was such a special play because we hadn't put it on film all year, and coach kind of saved that one return for me all year. It was counting right. He wouldn't let it be ran all year. He was saving it for me. My teammates believed in it, and they was waiting for it to be called. Once it got called, they told me they'll meet me in the end zone.
Percy, when did you know you were clear? When did you know you were gone?
After I made the kicker miss. I knew I had a pretty good shot, and I seen I had a couple blockers on my side. I looked up at the screen, I seen I was by myself.
I'll end it with this. You've got a defense that is special, beyond special. You see them in practice every day. At what point did you say, hey, this thing's over because there's no way they can score that amount of points?
I was starting to say it in the second quarter. This defense is tremendously hard to score on. Sherman and those guys, I know they don't give up easy plays. They take pride in that. So I knew it was going to be tough for them to drive down the score. So I knew once we got the lead, it was going to be hard.
How does it sound to be Super Bowl champion?
Okay, lovely, baby.
Percy Harvin, Aaron, Super Bowl champion, made a huge play. Back to you.
That's just incredible seeing Percy Harvin. We talked to him earlier this week. He had an extra jump in his step, a glimmer in his eye. He knew he was ready for this game because he was finally healthy.
Well, we can say we did that the whole year long, man. We just held Percy out to the end. Look, we knew that this young man, once he got the opportunity to play some significant minutes and get some significant touches, he was going to do something with it. 88-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Had a couple of catches, had a couple of runs, and was dynamic when he did it all. And then they definitely had to turn their attention to him. So I'm just so grateful, and I know that he's probably happy that he was able to contribute to this win.
About 3 weeks ago, maybe other people said this too, but I was turning and talking to some friends saying, do you realize this guy could come in and make a few plays and be like a Super Bowl MVP, and we'd never even remember that he didn't play all year? And sure enough, that's what he did. And that fly sweep they were using him on, the timing on it was so good. Russell Wilson really used that well, and they kind of had a progression, and just his speed is unbelievable. You have to account for it. He's a matchup nightmare. You can never get stuck with anybody but a really good cover guy on Percy Harvin. He's that fast. So it's not very often when you see amongst a bunch of NFL players a guy that just is head and shoulders above everybody else.
We heard the chants over here from the 12th man, Russell, as he came out a couple of seconds ago. Guys, this is such a young team, and we talk about legacy, and it always starts with one. You have to win the first one first. This is what could have happened tonight, and going over the next 5-10 years, because they have such a young core of players and talented players, they clearly proved that tonight by beating the best offense in this league in the Denver Broncos. We could be seeing something special over the course of the next few years.
Yeah, I liken this team to what we saw out of the Cowboys in the early 90s, certainly out of the New England Patriots in the early 2000s, where those guys went to like 3 or 4 Super Bowls in 4 years and won 3 of them. And so I really think the Seattle Seahawks, I think they can be back in this game next year. I know we don't want to start talking about that, celebrate this one, enjoy it. But let me tell you something, these guys are young. You still got all your playmakers under contract, and it's going to be really interesting how they start off next year, and if they can kind of keep this sort of momentum from winning the Super Bowl into next year.
One's not good enough for you, Mac.
Man, hey, like you said, things comes in bunches. That's the way it happens, Dave.
Well, I hope so. And yeah, I think you're right. I mean, that's the thing that's the beauty of John Schneider and his ability to identify talent. You know, we talked today about Malcolm Smith, a 7th rounder, a 5th rounder, and Richard Sherman. And, you know, if you're able to keep a group of young core guys like that are in that rookie contract, it helps with your salary cap problems. So that's the beauty of what they've been able to do as far as their talent goes. And I think John Schneider has a special, innate ability to see that in players that nobody else does. So I think as long as they have those two guys, Carroll and Schneider, working together, they'll be able to do that and keep this going.
Yeah, and then also if you can go out there and get, you know, undrafted rookie free agents like a Jermaine Kearse, who in their 2nd year had one of the greatest, you know, probably 2nd years of any guy on this squad. I mean, I don't think he only had a catch last year, and he came in, had 22 catches this year. Big plays, had a big play and a catch today that scored a touchdown. So just a lot of guys that contributed to this.
You see a little group behind us right now. That is Coach Pete Carroll talking with Peter King of SI right now. That whole group of cameras. He is going to have a lot of attention going forward as we're going to try and hear a lot more from the Seahawks players as you're looking live here at MetLife Stadium. A cool moment between Pete Carroll and his wife Glenna. Just an amazing pinnacle moment for the 4th-year Seahawks head coach. Remember, the first year, 7-9, they made the playoffs. They won that first wild card playoff game. But the 2nd year, they didn't make the playoffs. And then the last 2 years, they have, getting to the divisional round in Atlanta last year, and now finally Super Bowl champions. We'll have much more from the players here at MetLife Stadium back in just a few moments, guys.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. And it was really interesting. We heard Pete Carroll talk just a short time ago before he was being followed around by the Sports Illustrated crew. Then he was saying that the team didn't change anything. Going into this game today, all week long, they played their game and truly came out on top today. And he was so poised and pretty exciting for him tonight. Yeah. Back out live at the fans.
Yeah, I thought they came out faster in this game than any they have. I think that's really surprised Denver, which I thought was probably their goal.
They didn't seem to have some of the nerves. I mean, a mistake like that from the Broncos right off the bat, you tend to think somebody like Peyton Manning with all the experience wouldn't have some of the nerves. And you sort of expected some of the Seahawks, all these young guys to go out and be nervous for this game. But they came out, they showed up, and I mean, they just didn't even let the Broncos in, which was pretty exciting as a fan to watch, because some of these games throughout the season have been pretty nerve-wracking, and you watch.
Really nerve-wracking.
I mean, you think about the game a couple weeks ago against the 49ers, and we're all just, you know, kind of watching on the edge of our seats, waiting to see what happens, and it comes down to the end. So the fans certainly are feeling that as well tonight. I mean, this was a win from the get-go, and it was pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, so we're flipping back and forth here between Capitol Hill and Pioneer Square. This is Pioneer Square here. We are hearing reports that it's pretty wild in Belltown right now. The cops have the streets blocked off. Also, some students on Frat Row, or some people on Frat Row over at the UW on the Ave, have been lighting a bonfire, throwing some mattresses on there, so they've been getting that in control too. Some police moving in there. But this celebration here and the one in Capitol Hill is just people dancing. They're having a great time. They're yelling, "Seahawks, Seahawks," and just waving their hands in the air and really just soaking in the wind that everybody's feeling, not just in these areas, but in neighborhoods all across our city.
Absolutely. I mean, you're watching downtown Seattle right now, but I mean, the 12th man is spread out all across the greater Seattle area and in towns across this state. So this is a win for the entire state right now. And I know you're out there having a fun time tonight, 12th man. We want you to stay right here for continuing coverage of celebrations. You're home of the Seahawks, Q13 Fox News. What a sight. The party is getting wild out there on the streets of Seattle in front of the Pyramid Brewery near CenturyLink Stadium. There are so many fans, and to look at the Seattle Space Needle tonight and to watch the fireworks shoot off into the sky. So exciting.
Yeah, this is video of some fans jumping on some taxi cabs and just generally being rowdy in the area. I don't think there were any damages or anything like that, but the fans are just enjoying a fantastic night. And really, if you're in a car and you're downtown, you're not going anywhere anyway. They've got the streets blocked off, so this cab might as well just park it there for a little bit and just hang out and wait. So,
That's
but
right.
He's going to keep going. And, you know, really, this is a victory for all of our state. This is a victory for fans from everywhere, not just in Washington, all over the country. The 12th man represents all over the world. Aaron Levine brought us some fans in Scotland who were watching tonight. And really, this is a party for everybody, not just the folks in Seattle, but all over, from Spokane to Yakima to Forks to Olympia to Bellingham. What a fantastic victory tonight.
Yeah. I want to remind everybody that the team is going to be returning to Seattle tomorrow, and unlike when the team departed and everybody lined the streets and watched them take off at SeaTac, the team is going to be back tomorrow, but there's not going to be the same kind of parade as they arrive, and that is for safety reasons primarily. You will get your chance to see this team on Wednesday. They have a parade scheduled in downtown Seattle from 11 to 1:30. It starts at 4th Avenue, just south of Denny Way. It's going to go all the way to CenturyLink Field, so you'll have a great opportunity to get down and see the team. But they will be back tomorrow, landing in Seattle at SeaTac at some point tomorrow afternoon. But of course, lots of celebrations are going to be planned for the next few days. And this celebration in Pioneer Square is not letting up. I mean, it's, you know, we're 2 hours after the win almost, and they are just continuing to be out there and party and be amongst one another and celebrate the season, celebrate tonight's win. And so far, it's just happy. It's a good celebration, no real problems. Of course, David mentioned Seattle police are standing by. Look at those people in the distance there. Good, our camera guy's zooming in, and you can watch them just bouncing up and down.
Oh, see, there's a guy. I knew there'd be a guy leading it. So see the guy facing them? He's sort of cheerleading, getting everybody going. That's just wonderful. That's like a super fan there. He's getting everybody on videotape. It's really, really cool. You know, and these are the people that aren't in all the restaurants and the bars that are packed in everywhere. You know, they've come out into the streets, and really all over the area, people have been driving around honking. They're waving their flags. This is going to go on to the early morning hours. Somebody asked me, do I wear my blue and green tomorrow? Of course you wear it.
Yes.
You probably wear it for like the next 4 days.
I think you wear it all week long. And Walter says it's going to be a cold week, so if you are planning on going out and partaking in any of these celebrations, make sure to dress warm and prepare for the weather as you go out and root on the home team as they arrive back in Seattle.
Let's go out to Aaron Levine now. He's back there in New Jersey, right there in MetLife Stadium, to bring us up to date on what's happening. Aaron?
Yeah, that is a sight, guys, that we haven't seen for close to 4 decades. Seahawks champions, the Seahawks logo next to the Lombardi Trophy, as they are going to bring home the hardware, so to speak, in the next couple of days as they bring that trophy back to Seattle. By the way, it's just the second time since 1970 that the top offense has gone against the top defense. Guess what? Both times the top defense won out. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a second, but we also learned tonight that a Husky and a Coug can survive together on camera together as long as there's a Super Bowl championship in Seattle. Ian Furness, the Coug, catching up with the former Husky, Jermaine Kearse. Guys?
All right.
He just said go Dogs.
You know what? Here's what it means. If I'm a Seattle kid, go Cougs, not today. Go Dogs. Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you, you know. It's an amazing feeling, you know.
You tell me this, kid from Lakewood High School, at what point were you playing outside in the 253 dreaming of this?
You know, it's just been a dream of to win a championship. This is my first championship I've ever won, period, you know, so this one's special.
Jermaine, you went through a lot in college, a lot. Is this all worth it now?
Most definitely, most definitely. You know, I took the long way here, and, you know, I wouldn't have won it anyway, and, you know, it's just an amazing feeling. Words can't describe how I feel.
Let me ask you about the touchdown. It's one of their best tacklers, and you busted through that. Take us through that play.
Rush just gave me a chance. You know, he gave me the ball, and then after that, you know, I just try to mimic Golden Tate as much as possible. No, but, you know, just trying to make a play for our team.
What do you want to say to that? I heard it's crazy back in Seattle right now. What do you want to say? You got a parade coming up in a couple days. What do you want to say to the fans, the 12th man back there?
Oh, man, I just appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for everything. Thanks for having our back through the ups and downs. Lakewood, shout out to you guys, man. I love you guys all. Thank you.
The pride of Lakes High School in Lakewood, and also a Husky alum, Jermaine Kearse. And let's talk beast mode a little bit, because he becomes the all-time postseason rushing leader in franchise history. He just needed 5 yards to do that earlier tonight. And Marshawn Lynch scoring another touchdown for the Seahawks. He has been incredible throughout the postseason.
He has. He's been a man on a mission, and they had a hard time bringing him down today. Obviously, that was their top priority, was stopping him, and they did it to a certain degree. 15 carries for 39 yards, but he was very effective. He took a lot of their attention away and really forced Seattle to put the ball in Russell Wilson's hand and let him do something with it. And obviously, he took care of business in the passing game along with the rest of those receivers. But Marshawn Lynch, let me tell you what, they got an opportunity to play in this game because of what he did in the postseason against the New Orleans Saints, and then in the NFC Championship game against our rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. So let me tell you something, beast mode. I tell you what, he can be proud tonight. He probably have a lot to say. He probably still won't have a lot to say this week. But let me tell you something. Everybody around the entire Northwest, the city of Seattle, they love this guy because of the passion and just the effort that he brings to this team.
You know, the offense finally got a chance to face somebody who wasn't entirely oppressing. I mean, these defenses they've been going against, and Brock Huard gave me a little stat that they played 5 times this year against bottom tier, meaning the bottom half of the NFL as far as how they were ranked defensively, and scored an average of 35 points against those teams. So they've been facing these, you know, San Francisco and New Orleans and Carolina type of teams, and they finally got a team that, and I agree with you, Mac, I think they loaded up and tried to stop the run. That Terrence Knighton kid, the pot roast guy, I mean, he was for real. That guy was hard to block, and so I think they just tried to load up and stop the run mostly. And then Russell Wilson, I mean, you pick your poison, and Russell Wilson can make plays.
It almost feels like last week's NFC Championship game was much tougher than the Super Bowl was, and that is a testament to the NFC West and how dominant that division has come in just the last 4 years. I was standing at the Super Bowl 3 years ago in Dallas, the Super Bowl between the Packers and the Steelers, and we were only hopeful that John Schneider could help build a franchise given his background in Green Bay. That's exactly what he did, and the entire division has been incredible this entire season.
Yeah, it is really competitive. I mean, obviously the top 2 teams, with Seattle being the champions, San Francisco 49ers going to the Super Bowl last year, the Arizona Cardinals, they're up and coming. They just barely missed making the playoffs this season. And then you can never discount St. Louis. I mean, all they need to do is get a couple of pieces, and they're going to be extremely competitive. Look, in order to get back to this game, for the Seahawks to be able to do that next year, they're going to have to take care of business within the division. Again, that's stuff that we talk about maybe 4 or 5 months down the road. Right now, it's time to celebrate. But the NFC West really is arguably the best division in football.
Yeah, and that's a total 180-degree change, right? I mean, it used to be called the NFC worst, but the bad news there is that you're going to have to face those teams going forward. But the good news is you're able to beat those teams. You can come to the Super Bowl and blow out a Denver team. So we were talking earlier that probably San Francisco would be able to have pretty much good success against this Denver team, and whoever was going to win that game 2 weeks ago, I think, was going to win.
The saying goes, always compete. Well, guess what? That rivalry between Harbaugh and Carroll just got even more sweeter because Carroll won up Harbaugh tonight. He's got a Super Bowl title, and Jim Harbaugh does not. We'll take it back to you guys in the studio and have much more reaction from the Seahawks players following their Super Bowl XLVIII victory in a few minutes, guys.
All right, thanks, Aaron. And everybody at home, we know you're celebrating. You can send all of your celebration pictures into us here at Q13 Fox. We're getting all this stuff on the air, and we will be for the next few hours. Tips at Q13Fox.com. It has been so fun to watch this team and the fans all along, and back out live to Pioneer Square. These fans continue their celebration. They are just having fun in the streets.
This is going to go on in Seattle, I would imagine, until the early morning hours, until some people start to think about what are they going to do tomorrow. And everybody will be dressed in their blue and green and be in a good mood tomorrow. If you're a salesperson, you want to make some sales calls tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, you got people that are going to be in a good mood, willing to buy stuff. You can buy gear right now, championship gear, at some of the sporting outlets. The Sports Authority, where we got our sweatshirt, is going to be open late tonight and open early tomorrow morning. So you can go on and start getting your championship gear, maybe the sweatshirt that has the championship championship on it, the Super Bowl championship with the Seahawks on it, because you'll need that on Wednesday for the parade when it's in the upper 20s temperature-wise outside. But as we look at these fans, Walter, I'm going to bring you in here. You've been a long-time Seattle Seahawks fan, and a lot of talk was made about the temperature that it was going to be at the game and how is that going to affect Peyton Manning. And really, this wasn't the coldest Super Bowl ever, and the temperature and the weather turned out to be negligible for an open-air stadium.
It was incredible. I mean, it was almost too warm. I think they were talking about how the ice sculptures were starting to melt. So, you know, the temperatures were around 44 degrees or so and during most of the game, and I think they only had a little light drizzle, so no storm. I mean, you know what's interesting is they're going to have about 2 to 4 inches of snow tomorrow in New York City. So, you know, you missed it by, you know, what, a couple hours. But, yeah, I mean, it's just so exciting to see the Seahawks and go hot.
And the sun came out today, and it was such a beautiful day in Seattle, and then the Seahawks win the Super Bowl, and it's just a perfect moment for our city.
A dry night in Seattle as the celebration continues. Get yourself some Skittles. They're passing them out to the crowds. We'll be right back. More live coverage from downtown and across the area right here on Q13 Fox. Well, can you feel the excitement? Actually, that's the first time I've seen the street, the actual street, and you can see the crosswalk there as fans are starting to spread out a little bit. But certainly there are lots of parties happening all across Seattle tonight and the surrounding areas as people celebrate the big win, Super Bowl XLVIII, Seattle, the champions. They're going to be bringing the team home tomorrow. Again, want to mention that's not a public event. They're going to be bringing the team home privately, so you can't show up and welcome them home. That's for safety reasons. But the parade, again, is on Wednesday, and you definitely can show up for that in all your Seahawks gear. Bring the family down to downtown Seattle and welcome this team home and celebrate a great, great season.
I think they're just moving to different parts of the city tonight because you're starting to see them on the corners, and they're just going to start to spread out a little bit. This is a live look at Pike Place, or I should say at Pike and 12th in Capitol Hill, and they are just jammed in there. Look at that giant bag of Skittles, or box of Skittles they have over there. Boy, how many Skittles have we eaten this week? I don't think I can take another bag of Skittles.
Yeah, we've eaten our weight in Skittles. You know, it was a great game to watch tonight. It had so many wonderful moments, but of course the culmination is the end when you finally know that the Seattle Seahawks have won the game, and it's such a great moment. Want to replay that moment for you.
And that should be it. Dominant performance across the board. Pete Carroll, the Seattle Seahawks, winding their way 15 seconds away officially in the first world championship in franchise history as they win it here at MetLife Stadium 43-8. The Seahawks are world champs.
You see Pete Carroll there. I was looking at some, Twitter is going nuts right now, and watching him just a short time ago talking about the Gatorade shower, and he said, boy, is it a cold jolt, but on any night, this is a very welcome Gatorade shower. So you saw him, and he said, boy, it's just great to be out here with the guys going into tonight's game. He said in the post-game comments that they played their game. They didn't do anything new than they had been doing all season long, showed up tonight and gave it their best.
Yeah, he really put this team together. I mean, he had some players with some troubled histories, and he really looked in their eyes and to see whether they had what it takes to really get a championship and whether they deserved a second chance. And then he would give those players a second chance and bring them forward. And he's really molded this into a team that puts everything into it. And there was a lot of accountability among the players themselves. They were so close that if somebody was not quite doing what they needed to do or they were messing up a little bit, they would actually be able to say something to them about that without them hurting their feelings, just to make them sure that let them know that, hey, we're family and we're right there with you, and we need to continue to move forward on this and get your act in gear. And they did it. They won the Super Bowl.
They had some game changers tonight. I mean, you talk about Percy Harvin. We've been waiting to see him play all season long. Tonight's MVP, Malcolm Smith. Richard Sherman, of course, showed up tonight. He did leave the game a little bit early with an ankle injury.
Yeah, he has a high ankle sprain, so we think he's going to be okay, hopefully.
Yeah, but of course, he's one of the guys who helped get the team to the Super Bowl this year. Let's toss it back out to Aaron Levine, live on the field of MetLife Stadium. Aaron, so many players showed up today in so many different ways, as David was just mentioning, and that's what makes this team so special, is one picks up where the other leaves off.
It was a complete team effort tonight, and I love the fact that all players have not only played for each other, but they've all played with a chip on their shoulder, as if they have something to prove all year long. And guess what? Tonight they proved every doubter across the country wrong. And Seattle is champions. They're Super Bowl champions, and they now can take that chip off their shoulder a little bit, but next year, of course, we want them to play with that chip on their shoulder still.
Absolutely. Don't change one bit. That's what I would tell the team. Look, everybody outside of people in the Northwest and in Seattle didn't think the Seattle Seahawks had a chance. They thought that Peyton Manning, especially with the type of year that he had, would come in here and throw the ball around to those talented forward receivers and that run the score up and he'd be able to walk away with a second world championship ring. That didn't happen. Obviously, they don't know about the Seattle Seahawks, that this is a team that plays with a lot of grit. This is a team that doesn't quit. This is a team that plays all in each and every game. They came to play today, and they put the best foot forward, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't even close from the beginning of the game to the last snap. It was the Seattle Seahawks 100%.
You know, it's funny, I was on Radio Row the week before, and talking to the Denver media, a lot of those people were asking me questions like, how are you going to cover all these receivers? I mean, you can't use Cam Chancellor, can you?
And guess what?
Yeah.
Just don't send him on a slant over the middle either. We saw that tonight, and we've been talking about that for 2 weeks.
Oh, I know, and he did it 2 weeks ago, and so he's become a very, I was so glad they rewarded him with a contract before the season, because he's become not only an enforcer on the field, but he's a good cover guy, and so he was able to handle coverage. All of those pick plays that we were worried about and the crossing patterns, he made everybody a believer nationally. And so, you know, you just see everybody in Seattle knew. It's funny, you talk Seahawks in the Northwest, everybody understands that, but nationally they were doubters, and so this team is for real. I think they're going to pick up a few million fans after this game.
I hope so. And you talk about good cover guys. How about a good cover linebacker? He showed it against Jimmy Graham against New Orleans at the beginning of December. KJ Wright catching up with Ian Furness.
All right, Aaron, how about this guy? I saw him after a broken foot in San Francisco, and I said, how you doing? And you were as down as you could be. Yeah. From there to now, what's it like?
Oh, man, God is good, man. He got me back here. You know, my teammates kept me motivated. The trainers got me back to this moment, and I'm just so glad with a broken foot, I could come back and still play in the Super Bowl.
That was the goal, was it not?
Oh, most definitely. I knew that I didn't want to end my season on a broken foot. I had to come back and, end the season the right way, the way that it started.
Champ. Hey, and you are a world champ. KJ, the physical nature of your defense, the whole world saw it tonight. You guys came out and made a statement. It looked like that was the goal, was it? Come out and hit guys.
This is the best defense in the world, man. I don't care how good the offense is. They got to deal with us. And they came out, and we showed them who the best team was in the world.
Did you feel like you hit them hard a couple times and they didn't like it?
Yes, you got to hit them hard. You start hitting them hard, they start dropping balls, start getting alligator arms. And, that's how you just make a statement.
At what point did you see that? At what point did you say, hey, man, these guys want no part of it?
As soon as Cam laid that first hit on that guy, as soon as Cam laid that first hit, we knew, hey, we're about to get rolling now.
Tell me what it means to you and to your teammates. As you look around, you share it with your family. Yeah. What does this all mean?
It's a dream come true, man. I've dreamed of this moment all my life, and for it to finally happen, man, and I gave all the praise to God, man. This is the best feeling in the world.
Are you ready for a parade?
Yes, definitely. I can't wait to get back to Seattle and celebrate with the 12th man, all of them.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
There you go. KJ Wright came back from the injury. He's back. Aaron, back to you.
Yeah, talk about a great day for linebackers, guys. Not only KJ Wright coming back from injury after suffering that broken foot against San Francisco last month, but Malcolm Smith in his place. Both of them were extremely instrumental down the stretch. You want instrumental? Malcolm Smith, the Super Bowl MVP. Ian Furness caught up with him. We'll have much more from Malcolm Smith and much more from MetLife Stadium as the Seahawks are Super Bowl champions for the first time in franchise history. Much more reaction from the players and analysis from our Game Day crew coming up after the break.
At Q13 Fox News, we say we're right there with you. But what does that mean? It means we get it. We live here too, and we're all in this together.
It means we know what you need to start your day, including a cup of coffee.
It means knowing how much you care about keeping your neighborhood safe.
It means understanding what you're going through as a parent. and helping you face those challenges.
And we all have to deal with Seattle weather, so why not be prepared as you can be?
Get your news.
It is so exciting as the 38-year wait is finally over. The Lombardi Trophy is ours. The celebration is on. Seattle, you have your Super Bowl championship. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Because let's be honest, you certainly deserve it as the Seahawks winners of Super Bowl 48 over the Denver Broncos 43-8. Fox's Chris Myers caught up with not only Richard Sherman, but also Derek Coleman and Bobby Wagner after the game. Let's take a look.
Here we go. The world champion. That's what they are. World champion. The best. That's DC.
All right, we're on the field. Oh, you got already the headlines are out. You got Bobby Wagner, Richard Sherman on crutches.
What face is that?
First of all, congratulations. You feeling okay?
I'm feeling great, man. A win takes away all the pain. World championship with great guys like Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson, Earl Thomas, Doug Baldwin, man, it feels great.
Great teamwork. How were you able to at least control the best offense in football?
Teamwork. It was a total group effort. A lot of people were focused on Richard Sherman versus Peyton Manning versus the Legion of Boom. It took the linebackers doing a great job dropping. It took the D-line doing a great job getting the rush. And it took us in the back end holding up all day and getting turnovers. And Cam Chancellor did a fantastic job. Earl Thomas did a fantastic job.
Is that chip still on your shoulder? You guys are now the #1 team. You're the Super Bowl champions. You can't still be acting like that. You're not getting enough respect.
We don't get enough respect. They doubted us coming into this game. We were underdogs in this game.
Really?
And we were the #1 seed coming in, and they doubted us. So
are we the best defense in the world yet?
Absolutely.
Do we get that credit at least? Best defense in the world?
You were the best. Yeah.
They only got 8 points.
I appreciate that.
You know that. You were only giving up 14 points a game coming in.
We gave up less.
8 points.
You improved on that.
Yeah, we won.
Well, stay well and enjoy the offseason.
Thank you very much.
Hey, Bobby, congrats. Had a great year. Richard.
Mad Richard Sherman. That was a really happy Richard Sherman, not a mad Richard Sherman, right?
We like those. We like the way Richard Sherman just being happy because he helped his team to win a world championship. So just congratulations to him and the entire team.
Super Bowl champions. I'm just so happy to be here, be a part of the franchise, and I say greatest moment in sports history in Seattle, and just happy to be here and a part of it on the biggest stage in the world.
It was raining confetti, and guess what, guys? It's starting to rain a little bit. Got some of that Seattle weather here on the East Coast. That's only fitting. It's because the Seattle Seahawks winning their first Super Bowl title. Much more, including an interview with Super Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith coming up after the break on Seahawks Game Day.
Back out live to Capitol Hill, and the party continues. They're crowd surfing now in Capitol Hill, the 12-man fans, and they are celebrating the Super Bowl champions. First time in franchise history, the Seattle Seahawks win over the Denver Broncos tonight, 43-8. What a game! What a victory! What a season! Oh, look, you see that little kid on his dad's shoulders. What a memory for people who live in Seattle and the surrounding area to celebrate tonight and to support the team. The team, of course, heads back tomorrow, and I'm looking online right now, and they're getting ready to wrap up the Vince Lombardi Trophy, get it in its foam case, and ship it here to Seattle, which is such a cool feeling. And Pete Carroll saying tonight, thank you, 12s, for an incredible journey this season. Have a great party, and know that we feel your spirit out here in New Jersey.
Pete Carroll had time to tweet today?
He did. Wow. It's amazing he has the time.
Yeah, he had so many interviews going on. And Paul Allen tweeted earlier that congratulations, 12th man and the Seattle Seahawks. You are all champions tonight, Super Bowl champions. So
yeah, a win shared by the entire Seahawk and 12th man family.
So this is live out in Capitol Hill, where we've been watching the Pike Place sign, sort of the Pike sign, I should say, sort of slowly go down as people keep climbing up on the pole. But so far, celebration is going well in Seattle tonight. The cops have blocked the streets off so people can rally in a couple of different areas here, Pioneer Square, and in Belltown. There are a lot of crowds, and you've got officers on bikes that are just kind of keeping everybody contained, keeping the cars from going into the crowd, and people are just screaming and yelling and just having a great time. And restaurants are packed, and everybody had Super Bowl parties today with their Seahawks and Skittles, cupcakes, and all their food today, and everybody's just feeling great tonight. This is going to go on for a long time.
The grocery store was even selling blue and green flowers. I'd never seen that color blue of a flower before, but they were flying off the shelves.
I heard Nordstrom and some other stores were selling green shirts as well, bright green shirts.
Getting creative.
Yeah.
Hey, 12s, we hear you loud and clear right here on Q13 Fox as we have all season. around the area. We have got crews out, and for the next couple of hours, we'll be kind of dipping in and showing you all of the parties and celebrations that are happening. And we're stretched all the way to the East Coast, live in New Jersey, as we've been all week long with Aaron Levine, continuing our coverage from MetLife Stadium. Aaron, take it away.
Yeah, guys, you like the celebration. We got the 12th man flags out here as well. They were representing really well, though. And I got to give a shout out to former Seahawk Joe Tafoya and the entire Volume 12 community. They put on some great events for the Seahawks fans in Times Square over the last few days. And everywhere you looked in Times Square, there was a Seahawks fan. They had the Broncos fans outnumbered, I would say, 5-6 to 1, or maybe even 10 to 1. What did you guys think?
Yeah, I really felt like I was right at home down there in Times Square. It felt like it was all Seattle fans down there. They came out and represented really well, like they've done all year long. They traveled really well all across the country, no matter where they've played at. Look, this is a great weekend, colossal weekend for Seattle fans everywhere. Last night, Walter Jones being elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and tonight, the Seattle Seahawks gets their first ever World Championship.
And NBA Commissioner David Stern also retired a couple days, gives a lot of hope to Sonics fans in Seattle too.
Yeah, that's all they need. They got Robinson Cano. You got a Super Bowl championship. I mean, that's the thing. I think Seattle's becoming, it's really put itself on the map. It's the place to be, and I thought the Cano thing was kind of a big deal. And I thought a lot of that had to do with the fact that, the Seahawks are so good, and you got Richard Sherman and Russell Wilson, and these guys really represented well this week. The franchise, and I know there was the flap with Richard Sherman, but, he did such a good job with that apology and explaining the whole thing, and then you got guys like Russell Wilson and Derek Coleman with his commercial, so just represented, I think, Seattle really well.
I just got to thank you guys for being a great crew this year. Hope to have you back again next year. Our Seahawks Game Day crew, Max Strong and Dave Wyman, will send it back to you, and much more coming up on Q13 Fox News at 9 and 10 o'clock, guys.
Aaron, before we let you go, it looks like it's starting to rain or maybe even a little snow there. I know the weather's supposed to change tonight. We got really lucky, didn't we?
Yeah, just a little bit of precipitation, and it's supposed to turn into snow tomorrow.
All right, good deal. Aaron, thanks very much. And Mac and Dave, great job out there tonight.
Yeah, well, the streets are dry in Seattle, and the fans, of course, have been pouring out to celebrate tonight. Lots of parties going on, and we have you covered. Let's give you another live look outside. We've got Pioneer Square. This is the Capitol Hill area, and boy, are these fans, they are rowdy, they are having fun, and so far they're in control, just out there partying and celebrating the first win in franchise history. Super Bowl win for the Seattle Seahawks tonight. Super Bowl XLVIII. It was an incredible season, and to cap it off tonight with this win is truly incredible.
So we've been bringing you coverage of some of the celebrations going on around the city. These are being mimicked all over the state tonight, and coming up in just a little bit, we're going to have live reporters all over the city bringing us the very latest. The Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions tonight. Look at MetLife Stadium and soak that in right there. Champions. This is just fantastic news. Our coverage is going to continue right after this.